When you imagine the vast expanse of our universe, it's easy to feel quite insignificant. Our Earth, with all its 8 billion people, is just a tiny speck in the grand scheme of things. And if that's true, then it seems likely that there are other planets out there like Earth, or at least other planets that have life on them. But as we search further and further into space, we're not finding much at all. So, does this mean that the universe is infinite? Is it endless? Or could there be a more simple explanation for our cosmic loneliness? Well, today we're going to explore both sides of this argument to see what evidence there is for an infinite universe and what evidence there is for a finite one. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be amazed by the wonders of the cosmos. On one side of the argument, there are those who believe that the universe is indeed infinite, stretching on forever without end or boundary. To some, this idea may seem counterintuitive or even absurd. After all, we can only observe so far and have unfound any evidence of the universe extending beyond our observable horizon. However, proponents of this theory argue that the lack of evidence is not evidence of a lack. They reason that just because we have unseen beyond a certain point, does unseen mean that there isn't anything there to see. Instead, they suggest that the universe could be infinite, containing an endless amount of matter and energy. This idea is supported by some observations about the shape of the universe, which seem to indicate that it is flat. If the universe is flat, then it extends infinitely in all directions. Furthermore, some physicists argue that an infinite universe is necessary to explain the existence of time. They reason that if the universe is finite, then there must have been a beginning and an end. And with no beginning or end, there can be no time. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that the universe must be infinite. However, not everyone agrees with this assessment. In fact, many scientists believe that our universe is not infinite, but rather finite. That means there is a boundary to how far you can travel in space, and when you reach that boundary, you either bounce off it or fall off the edge. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but stick with me here because this theory actually makes a lot of sense. First of all, consider the fact that we haven't found any other planets yet. It may seem like a lack of evidence, but some scientists argue that it's evidence for a finite universe. If the universe were infinite, then there would be an endless amount of planets out there, and we should have found at least one by now. The fact that we haven't suggests that our planet may be unique, or at least very rare. Furthermore, some scientists argue that an infinite universe wouldn't make sense from a mathematical perspective. They reason that if the universe is infinite, then everything would have to be infinitely small. However, we know that's not the case. We can measure distances between stars and galaxies down to incredibly small fractions of a second. Therefore, the universe must be finite in order to have these measurable distances. So, what do you think? Is the universe infinite or finite? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. Now, let's explore some of the implications of these two theories. If the universe is infinite, then there must be an endless amount of matter and energy out there. This could mean that there are other planets like Earth with similar conditions and possibly even life. This filter could be anything from a lack of resources to a natural disaster that wipes out all life. But it also raises some interesting questions. What would happen if we reached the edge of the universe? Would we be able to travel beyond it, or would we be stuck forever? Well, if the universe is infinite, then there's no question about it. We would be able to keep traveling forever. But if the universe is finite, then things get a little more complicated. Some scientists believe that if we were to reach the edge of the universe, we would simply bounce back to where we started. This idea is based on the theory of general relativity, which suggests that the universe is a closed system. If this is true, then it means that the laws of physics are the same everywhere in the universe and that nothing can escape the pull of gravity. Therefore, if we were to reach the edge of the universe, we would simply fall back towards the center of it. Other scientists, however, disagree. They argue that if we were to reach the edge of the universe, we would be met with a great wall, a barrier that prevents any further exploration. This idea is based on the theory of inflation, which suggests that the universe expanded rapidly in the first few seconds after the Big Bang. If this is true, then it means that there are regions of the universe that are simply too far away for us to ever reach. Therefore, if we were to come across such a wall, there would be no way to pass through it, and we would be stuck in the region of space that we currently inhabit. But what if we were to find a way to travel beyond the edge of the universe? What would we see? Well, that depends on whether the universe is infinite or finite. If the universe is infinite, then we would continue to see the same stars and galaxies, just farther and farther away. Eventually, however, we would start to see things that we have never seen before, new stars, new galaxies, and possibly even new forms of matter and energy. On the other hand, if the universe is finite, then what we would see would depend on the size of the universe. If it's relatively small, then we would eventually start to see the same stars and galaxies repeat themselves. This would mean that there is a pattern to the universe, a sort of cosmic wallpaper that stretches on forever. However, if the universe is much larger than we currently think, then we would see something else entirely. We would see the beginnings of other universes. That's right. Some scientists believe that there are other universes that exist beyond our own. And if this is true, then traveling to the edge of our universe would allow us to glimpse into these other universes. We would see different stars, different galaxies, and possibly even different laws of physics. So, what do you think? Does the idea of other universes excite you? Or does it seem too far-fetched to be taken seriously? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, if you're still watching, you've already made it past the 90% mark. Congratulations, you're better than 90% of viewers. Keep going. As we continue to explore the vastness of space, we may eventually find evidence that will help us determine whether the universe is infinite or finite. If we discover other planets with life on them, it would suggest that the universe is infinite, as there would be an endless amount of possibilities out there. On the other hand, if we continue to search for planets and come up empty-handed, it could suggest that our solar system is unique, and that there is a great filter preventing civilizations from becoming too advanced. But regardless of what we find, one thing is for sure: the search for answers will continue to amaze and inspire future generations of scientists and explorers. Who knows? Maybe one day you'll be part of the team that makes the ultimate discovery. As we wrap up this video, we want to thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery. We hope that you learned something new and that you are as excited as we are about the mysteries of the cosmos. Do not forget to subscribe for more videos like this one, and to leave us a comment below about what you think the shape of the universe is. You'll get access to exclusive content and be able to join our live Q&A sessions. So, what are you waiting for? Click the link below and join the fun today. Until next time, keep looking up.